Hey everybody, Professor Snark checking in again as we get right towards the end of our English 1102 course. Since it's just the 8-week version, it means that midterm is showing up pretty soon for us, or for the 16-week term, which means that our 8-week is almost near its end, even though it feels like more like winter than ever. I don't know if anyone's getting a little bit tired of that, but I certainly am. Anyway, let's catch us up to see where we are. So it's been a while since I've checked in through a video audio announcement here, largely because I've been busy trying to grade essays and get them back to people, and then obviously keeping up with the work that we're doing in our class. And also because, as you will have seen, the unit that we're into now, which is Unit 10, actually is pretty easy in as much as you just have the opportunity to conference with me one-on-one, so not face-to-face necessarily, or person-to-person, but virtually in real time. So we can certainly talk about your essay, but if you have other concerns, be sure to use that time effectively as well. So let me just move into our, or look at our due dates here. So Unit 9 is finished up. You've proposed a tentative topic. It's not contractual by any means, so if you change it, that's perfectly all right. I would have given you some feedback, either that it seemed like it was going in the right direction or maybe asked some questions, so certainly follow up with those as well. We're now into the essay conferences, and then you'll see Unit 11 has the opportunity, or provides the opportunity for some peer review where you're exchanging your essay, hopefully in its close to final form, but maybe not, maybe still in draft form, but at least with the basic topic and thesis in place, paragraphs developed, and hopefully secondary sources worked in and the works cited done, because that's one of the things that's really useful to get some peer feedback on. Do you have the right number of sources, the right kind, are they used effectively, and that kind of thing. And then of course be aware of the end of our course, Unit 12 here, when you're submitting your final essay by Monday, March 10th. So let's look at the units that we have coming up in front of us here, just to walk you through a little bit. I'll actually back up into the topic just to review some of the things that are going on, or the essay assignment, I should say. So Death of a Salesman is the reading that's been assigned. You'll notice in the assignment itself, you're not absolutely required to use just Death of a Salesman in your essay, but I strongly recommend it. It is a new work to write about. There's lots going on, so there's lots of themes and interesting characters to deal with. There's lots of really good research material, which again may seem like a sort of thin reason to choose something to write on, but since the focus of the class is research, since you're really having to do a lot of secondary source stuff with this final paper, it's kind of a good choice just for those basic reasons. Notice that the length of it, though, is not, I don't think, onerous. It's not like all of a sudden a 30-page paper or even a 10-page. It's 6, which isn't really that much longer than what we've been writing already, especially when you consider the length of the work that you're writing on, potentially the play, and of course the source requirements, which I'm going to look at now. So secondary sources, the same thing goes for this essay as has been the case all along. They need to be relevant, appropriate, so not just general websites. They can't be books or articles just about an idea that's kind of vaguely related to your work. So, if you're writing about Death of the Salesman and Willie's, delusions, let's say, a journal or a medical journal article on, delusional behavior or some sort of disorder is, I can see how it's, sort of related, but it's not a discussion of the primary text directly, so it doesn't fit what we're looking for here. And in this case, we need 4, which in a 6-page paper is really, more than you'd ever probably use. But again, because English 1102 is the research course, we really do kind of focus on that in a really particular or specific kind of way. So again, more sources than you'd probably normally use, but this isn't a normal paper. It's a paper as the capstone paper in English 1102. Okay, so at least one database. We've used those before, right? So that's nothing new. The third and fourth could be database sources as well. So again, nothing new. The one new thing is that I'm asking you to find at least one book source. And actually there's a video that walks you through how to find that kind of material. So clearly you're using an electronic tool to find the book, the library catalog, but then you are physically finding it and pulling it off the shelves with your hands. So it actually is a physical book. It's not electronic. It doesn't have to be from the COD library. If there's one that's closer to you, by all means use that one. But for many people, the COD library will be a good first resource to use. So again, 4 sources. For many people, probably 3 will be databases, but at least one of them has to be a book. Now, honestly, when you find the one book, depending on what work you're writing about, because of the way things are organized in the library, you may actually see a number of other books that look applicable to your topic. So in finding the one, you may actually find 2 or 3 that you need to use. And remember, you don't need to read the entirety of those books. You're searching through an index or table of contents to find material that you think is going to be appropriate to your particular topic. Okay, topic guidelines, as you know already, you're developing your own topic, which I think is more challenging at the start, but ultimately more rewarding at the end. So that's the logic for that. Discussing no more than 2 primary texts, in which case you might do a sort of comparison essay, but you could just focus on a specific theme or something like that in just one. Again, I recommend the play for a number of reasons, but maybe you have a good reason for choosing something else, but that needs to be communicated to me, and I sort of need to give it the thumbs up before you get too far. Here's the video on finding a print source. So I will move then quickly into Unit 10. I always get sick when I'm watching these things and there's lots of scrolling, so I apologize for that. All right, so here we are in Unit 10, which is kind of this week, at least when I'm recording this, which is Monday the 24th. So again, pretty simple. Kind of encouraging you to do an outline, but I don't collect it, so it's not a graded thing. It's really for your own, getting the ball rolling. The main thing that we're doing here is the conference. So we're using either Skype or what's called Adobe Connect. Both the connection information is in here. You really might want to check that out and load it into your computer before your meeting time. You'll notice they're only 10 minutes long, and that goes quite quickly. And you don't want a whole bunch of that time eaten up with just technological kinds of things. So to add your name, as you can see many students have done already, edit the wiki content. It'll open up. You can type your name, and then there'll be a submit button, I believe, down in the corner, and then your name's added. Don't go erasing things by mistake. I've seen that happen. Again, I assume by mistake, but just be careful. If by the time you go in to sign up, you realize that there's not a time available for you, just be in touch with me and we can coordinate a time just between the two of us. Okay, zooming along here. Now looking forward to Unit 11. Unit 11, by this point, you really should have your essay fairly well developed, if not almost ready to be in its final state. And so we do a peer review. There is lots of material on how the peer review works. So what kinds of things are you looking for? You're commenting directly on the file that somebody will submit, and I'll show you where that happens in a second. So you're not just providing like a couple of sentences, oh, I liked it, or oh, check your citations. I mean, that might be something that the person has to check, but if you don't point those things out in the actual text of the essay, it's not very helpful. So maybe you use the commenting feature, maybe you just, highlight stuff in the text, which is pretty straightforward. Anything that just makes it show up so the person who gets their essay back knows that there's been some commentary there. Here's a little section on the what do I say. Again, you really just, the good thing about peer review is it's really the golden rule. You know what you'd like to receive in terms of feedback, so invest that same time and energy in providing feedback. Peer review materials, and then the groups themselves and the discussion board. So you'll find yourself in a group, click in to the discussion board, again find yourself in your group, and just click in and post your essay file. Make sure it's posted in a format that people can access. Probably .rtf is the best choice. So it's incumbent on you as the writer or the poster to make sure that happens. And then everyone in your group can simply download that attachment, mark up the file with comments, either in the text or using a comment feature of some kind, and then post it back to you. All right. So it's a lot of checking the discussion board and posting and, you know, that kind of back and forth. But especially if you're getting feedback from, you know, 2, 3, maybe even 4 people, it really does potentially key you into areas of your essay that still need work. Again, hopefully not serious work, but little cleanup types of things. And then, of course, we're into the final essay where, ta-da, all you're doing is submitting the final essay. There actually will be the opportunity for you to do a brief course evaluation where you can give some feedback to me about, you know, what you liked or what you didn't like or wanted changed, you know, whatever. Don't worry too much about that. That'll happen after everything else is done. Clearly, your focus is submitting the final essay. Alrighty, so we are getting down towards the end. Be sure you're keeping in touch with me about questions, concerns. If there, you know, if I'd asked questions about your topic, be sure you get back to me on that. And otherwise, I'll probably check in a few more times. But yeah, we're getting right down to the end. Hopefully, spring is around the corner.